Well, it's my favourite day of the week once again. Got some really good things I want to talk about on the programme today. And I've also got some things as a parent. If this happened to my children, I would be extremely pissed. Well, hello guys, welcome back to another episode of the Moore Army Podcast. Welcome back to this Thursday's edition of the show. Hope you're all doing well out there. Since the last time I spoke to you last Tuesday. God, I got some good things to talk about today on the show. Also got some things that actually makes me angry on the show today, so I got a bit of a mixed emotions today. But it is Thursday. You know yourself, guys, if you're a regular listener to the podcast, this is my favourite day of the week where I get to have some me time after a long week, have a cold beer and chill out and relax. But anyway, before we get any more into the show today, before I go any further, we've also got Jackass of the Week today as well coming up on the show as well. So before we get into any things we'll chat about on the programme today, let's get into the usual stuff. If you're a regular listener to the podcast, hello, welcome back for another episode. If you're new to the Moore Army Podcast, hello, welcome to the show. If you want to get in contact with the Moore Army Podcast to talk about anything you would like to, because it's uncensored and there's no snowflakes welcome on this show. So if you're a snowflake and you want to try and be a moron, then you're not welcome. So, hence why it's called Unleashed. So, anything you want to talk about at all, no matter what it is, how bad it is, how serious it is, you want to get in touch with me here on the show, you can certainly do that by the following methods. You can contact us by email, which is moorearmypodcast@yahoo.com. Also, you can contact us on the old social media, which is Facebook, the Moore Army YouTube channel, Facebook page. For anybody out there who doesn't know, the Moore Army has a YouTube channel as well, which has been going just over 7.5 years. You can contact us on there on Facebook and also on the old Instagram, which a lot of you seem to be using more than Facebook, which is official Matthew Moore on Instagram. And also for all your merchandise for the Moore Army Podcast, Moore Army YouTube channel, all the videos you want to watch throughout the years, listen to regular podcasts and more, you can go to the Moore Army website, which is moorearmy.co.uk. But anyway, yes, guys, it is Thursday. I'm feeling actually a little bit good today, actually, for once. Normally on a Thursday morning, I'm a wee bit tired after a bit of a long week, but I'm actually feeling not too bad today, to be quite honest. I'm actually feeling quite perky. I'm sitting here this morning, looking out the window this morning, not seeing much sunshine this morning, but apparently there's going to be more sunshine later on today. I have asked you over the last couple of days, guys, to get in touch with me about what you've been up to in the sunshine, which a lot of you have done. A lot of you have been going to the beach. A lot of you have been travelling for day trips with your family. A lot of you have been out walking your dogs. A lot of you have been doing a lot of different things. A lot of you have been jetting off to pastures abroad, should we say. Had a few of you contact me saying you were in Spain. Some of you have been contacting me saying you're away to the States. You know, it's been great to hear from you all over the last few days, maybe last week or so, since we started getting all this lovely sunshine here in Northern Ireland and also in the UK. So, but if you're listening to us, anybody from abroad, whether it's outside the UK, you know, what's your weather like in your area? Because apparently there's a lot of places across Europe are actually getting really nice weather too as well. So it's awful nice to hear from everybody who contacts us here on the Moore Army Podcast. What have I got for you today, guys, to talk about? Well, got some stuff I want to talk about on the podcast today, which is the usual stuff floating around the news and whatnot. Mr. Harry is still in court as usual, bragging on about the old nonsense now. He's blaming people for his past relationships falling apart. West Ham United won the first European trophy in over 50 years last night. It was 58 years. They won the UEFA Conference League last night, which I watched with Lewis, which was a brilliant game. A friend of mine, Adam, who I was on his podcast with his friend Sean, the ASAP podcast, He's a big West Ham fan. He sent me audio recordings last night to play on the podcast today, which I can't really play because I'll explain shortly. But he's a bit emotional. Obviously, I saw videos of him on social media, and a lot of West Ham fans crying their eyes out last night on West Ham winning the Conference League last night, which was great. We've got the Jackass of the Week coming up on the, as I said at the start of this programme, coming up shortly as well. And a couple of other things that are pattered about the news and whatnot. And also, guys, there's a subject that I want to talk about. Schools having children from the age of 11 dressing up in drag. Yeah, I know. As a parent, I read this morning and I literally got pissed off reading it. More on that as well. And obviously, I want to get into some of your emails, questions and whatnot on the podcast today. So what have I been up to, guys, before getting into all the subjects that I've chosen today for the podcast? What have I been up to since the last time I spoke to you? Well, to be quite honest with you guys, not very much. I've been doing very, very little the last few days since Tuesday. If you haven't checked out Tuesday's podcast, whether you're listening to us here today on Apple Music, Spotify, TuneIn Radio, or on YouTube, don't forget to subscribe, by the way, if you're on YouTube. Listening to us today, you want to go back and check out the previous episode from the other day, you certainly can. I haven't really been up to much, to be quite honest with you guys. I was out bits and bobs. I've been flat out with work. I've been doing other bits and pieces. I haven't really been up much the last 2 days, to be quite honest with you. Now, I have got a pretty busy weekend coming up. Obviously, I got my wee night tonight, which always happen on a Thursday night where I have a few beers and switch off. Also, I'm away out on Friday night with a friend of mine. I'm heading out on Friday night for dinner. I'm going out for a friend of mine on Friday night, which is going to be good fun. Looking forward to getting out on Friday night. And then Saturday night's the Champions League final. And then Sunday, I'm hoping to maybe spend some time with mum and dad on Sunday. But yesterday, guys, it was Tony's birthday. Tony turned 34 yesterday. You all know, guys, every single year, Tony and I always head out for his birthday, and then we head out for my birthday, maybe go for a couple of beers and whatnot, whatever. But we didn't this year. Tony was out last night with his friend. I unfortunately couldn't make it. So it was Tony's birthday yesterday. He turned 34. I can't believe he's 34 now, because I remember when he was fucking 4, never mind 30 bloody 4. Gee whiz. You know, it's just the times. He was actually what? I actually have video footage of his 3rd birthday party. Was it his 3rd birthday party? Yeah, it was. It was his 3rd birthday party. And now he's 34. It's fucking insane. It's like you wouldn't think it was 4 years ago we were celebrating his 30th in Belfast during all that COVID bullshit. Or was it before COVID he turned 30? I can't even remember. It was during all that COVID crap. I think I was the night we went out to Belfast and we were drinking them big traffic cones and all. You want to go and check out the vlog, guys. It's on the YouTube channel. Yeah. I mean, I'm 42 this year. Next month, actually. I'm 42 next month. And it's an hour fucking... I can't believe I'm 42. That the years have just flown by so quick. Like 1 minute you're like 17, 18 and you're full of life and then everything's in front of you, and then the next minute you're in your 40s. It's fucking crazy. It's just the time goes by so bloody quick. But yes, happy birthday to Tony. He turned 34 yesterday. Baby bro's not a baby anymore. He went out with his friend last night for a couple of beers. Unfortunately, I couldn't make it. I was going to text him today to see if he wanted to come around tonight for a few beers, but he's probably fucking hungover from last night, knowing him. But yeah, it was his birthday and he turned 34, so... But yeah, it's just shows you guys time goes by so bloody quick. I mean, even my kids, for example, my God, like Brooke's 18 this year, and you wouldn't even think it. You know, I got a message from a fan the other day. Was it 2 weeks ago or not last? Was it last week or the week before? Maybe I always remember the message anyway, saying they've been watching the channel since Brooke was 10. You know what I mean? She was coming 10 or coming 11. She was 10 when we started, and she was coming 11 that year. You know what I mean? And I watch back all them videos over the years, and it's just like, where the fuck did the time go? It's just like thrown by, just like that. It's just gone so quickly. So it is, but it's just what happened, guys. Time goes by so quick, and this is why I always say to people nowadays, I've learned this as I've got older, you know, you got to appreciate time, because time is, it's not what anybody say. It goes by so quickly. 1 minute you're a young man, and you're, you know, life ahead of you, and everything's great, and then all of a sudden, bang, you're in your 40s. And you're sitting there going, where the fuck's the last 20 years gone to? It's crazy. It's absolutely crazy. But I don't know. It's just, I sit back this last maybe 3 or 4 years as well and just sort of reflect on things that's happened to me over the last couple of years. Especially even this last year or so. It's just went by so bloody quick. You know what I mean? I've been on my own now since, gee whiz, April, March last year, and that year or so has been just gone in a heartbeat. It's just completely gone. I was celebrating Brooke's birthday, or 16th birthday. It'll be 2 years this November, and you wouldn't even think it was 2 years. It's just flown by so quick. And then there's Lewis. He's 14 now. It's like, oh my God. Like, I actually popped up in my own personal Facebook the other day a memory of Lewis whenever we were sitting watching the Barcelona Juventus Champions League final from 2015. I think it was. It was before we were on YouTube. And Lewis is sitting on the sofa. And this is whenever he was losing all his wee teeth and stuff. His bottom teeth, some of his bottom teeth was missing. Two of his front teeth was missing. And he was sitting in his new Barcelona shirt. And I was saying to him, Lewis, Messi's not playing tonight and all. And he was like, yes, he is playing. That was 8 years ago. You know what I mean? And I look at that and go, where the fuck did the time go to? But it's crazy, guys. Time goes by so quick. But anyway, yes, in closing, Tony, happy birthday. Hope you had a good birthday. I obviously haven't seen him. I did text him yesterday, but I normally do go out for his birthday every year, but this year I didn't. For a lot of reasons, but I couldn't go. But I will text him today and to see if he maybe wants to come down for a beer tonight to celebrate his birthday, but he's probably too fucking hungover knowing him. It's his first drink that he's had, and the last time Tony had a drink with me, he obviously has come round and sat with me when I'm having a few beers and stuff, but he wouldn't actually drink. He hasn't drank since about March. So he hasn't. He's come round and obviously he sat with me and we've had chats and, we've sat round and I've had a few beers and we've talked and stuff like that, but he hasn't actually drank any beer or alcohol because he's been, I don't know what's wrong with him, but I know he had a drink last night, so he's probably hungover to fuck today and he's probably dying. Doesn't help the fact that I gave him a Sambuca shot one night the last time he drank and he hasn't drank since, because the next day I saw him, he had 3 Sambuca shots and he came round the next day to visit me with Dad and he was looking at me and he looked like he'd been dragged through a fucking hedge backwards and he was just looking at me and going, why did you give me them shots last night? I'm standing looking at him fresh as a daisy going, you alright? He's like, no mate, no. And that's another thing too as well, guys. Anybody out there who drinks alcohol, the older you get, the less, well, in my opinion, I don't get hangovers anymore. Very rarely I would get a hangover, like very rarely. Even that time last August, whenever I was invited onto the ASAP podcast with the boys from Lurgan, we went out and I went down to the hotel in Bangor. We sat in the hotel room, recorded the podcast, had a few beers. That was guys, go and check out that vlog. That was a good night. It was so funny though because I didn't have to get home. I had football the next day because we were playing a match the next day. I didn't have to rush home because Burke and Lewis were being looked after. And okay, right dead on, went into town, whatever it was, here in Bangor, had a few beers, like it was fucking lethal. Ended up back in the hotel with them boys and fell asleep on the fucking chair. Woke up the next morning and said, right, what the hell's going on here? I gotta go home, get a quick shower, get about 3 or 4 hours kip, get up, not even 3 or 4 hours kip, get up, get a shower, get ready, go to football. And I'll never forget it because I was just tired. I wasn't hungover, but it was a sunny day the next day and I was wearing sunglasses and we were playing Ards that day and the manager walked up to me and goes, are you hungover, big man? I seen it on Facebook last night, you were out. And I was like, no, just tired. See, I don't get hangovers that often, but even the next day when I spoke to those two boys and after they got back home to Lurgan and stuff, they were saying to me like, Matty, we're hanging out of our RC, you alright? And I'm going, no, I'm fine. I always find the older I've got, the less hangovers I get. So I do. But that's just me. But anyway, enough of that crap. Moving on. I'm sitting here this morning, guys. Feeling a bit good today. I'm looking forward to the rest of my day today. I'm looking forward to the weekend ahead. Obviously spend time with friends and obviously looking forward to the Champions League final on Saturday night and whatnot and looking forward to the weekend in general. So yeah, I'll fill you in what I've been up to over the weekend. Stay tuned to my social media as well because you'll probably see videos and vlogs and whatever else. I did put a vlog up yesterday on the channel. That was from the weekend before we saw me down at the beach last Friday night for a lovely walk along the beach. It was a great, so it was. And then you saw me at pre-season football training last Saturday. So You want to go and check out that vlog. It is available on the channel right now. I will be doing another vlog hopefully today. I'm hopefully getting out here later on today. Now, after I record this podcast this morning, Mum and Dad's calling around for a little bit, and then I'm going to hopefully head out afterwards as well, before the monsters come home from school, because I'm actually off today as well, which is great for once on a Thursday. But anyway, guys, moving on. Let's get into some of the subjects at hand today. It's some of the stuff going on in the big bad world today. It's just crazy. A lot of you have been asking me. We were talking about Philip Schofield this past week as well, about his whole quitting and whatever else. And then I talked about it briefly there on Tuesday's podcast about Holly Willoughby's speech. She came out and talked about, but it was so scripted and so cringy and whatever else. And a lot of you guys have been asking me, what do you think about Holly's speech and stuff? And I'm thinking to myself, right, I got to address and close this matter at hand. A lot of people are slating this girl for what she said, and to be quite honest with you, it was kind of like scripted. And they said at the very start, how are you? It's like very Meghan Malarkey or Meghan Markle, whatever the fuck you want to call that girl. But honestly, I have a lot of views on it, guys. But again, it's so cringy and whatnot, and people are saying, like, you think it was all planned, and do you think she knew this, and do you think she knew that? Listen, here's the bottom line. That speech was scripted, and I don't care what anybody fucking says. She's read off an auto cue. She's read that. She's prepared that beforehand. It's all been scripted to try and, save her career and move on and try and distance herself from your man Philip Schofield since all the crap that he done. People ask me, do I think she knew what was going on with him and that young guy from the staff? I think she knew that he was gay. Do I know he was having that affair behind his wife's back with that young lad? I'm on the fence with that one, guys. I really don't know. You know what I mean? You just don't know. As the old saying goes, no matter what happens in this world, it always comes out in the end. So even if she did do something, if she did know anything, it always comes out in the end. Whether after the person's no longer here with us anymore or on down the road years later, everything always comes out in the end no matter what. Long runs the fox, as I always say. So, and people are asking me, do you really think this is the biggest cover-up since the whole BBC, Martin Bashir, Jimmy Savile, all that crap? And I'm thinking to myself, well, it is sort of like, people are still talking about that in that same sort of category, but at the end of the day, it's a pretty big thing. It's ruining his career. The fact that he actually did do what he done, and he lied to everybody about it, and he lied to his wife, and he lied to his friends, and he lied to the people, he lied to the public as well, which was even worse. You know what I mean? So we'll just have to wait and see how this unfolds more over the next few weeks, because at the end of the day, Holly's speech was kind of cringy, and to be quite honest with you, I didn't believe a word of it. Anyway, let's talk about something else. I actually read this morning. Like, what the hell is going on here this morning? I read this here. Marks and Spencer's. Now, I'm not a big shopper of Marks and Spencer's, and I'll tell you the reason why. I find, now this is my personal opinion, and if anybody doesn't like this, then they can basically take their opinion and keep it to themselves, basically. I don't shop in Marks and Spencer's for a reason. Now, I have bought stuff out of there recently, you've probably seen in my vlogs. I came across stuff when I was in the airport, because there's a wee small M&S section in John Lennon Airport in Liverpool and whatnot. But I'm not a big shopper in Marks and Spencer's, and the reason why is not, and you're probably going to laugh at this, but I find, right, I'm from Belfast, okay, and when I go into Marks and Spencer's in Belfast, everything's cool, it's just general working class people, everything's great and all, but when I go into the Marks and Spencer's here in old jolly old Bangor, I seem to be thinking I'm walking through the land of fucking snob, but there's so many up their own arse numpties, I call them, walking around with their nose in the air so hard if it started to rain they'd probably fucking drowned. They walk around with their nose in the air like, oh, ooh, hello. Some of the characters I see in Marks and Spencer's where I live is just ridiculous. I've always known it as the snobby supermarket. Now, when I go into the ones in Belfast, everything seems to be grand. I mean, okay, obviously you get your wee snobs everywhere you go, but I find the Marks and Spencer's here where I live in Northern Ireland is very up their own arse and very posh. So it is still very, why are you shopping in here? It's like, listen, at the end of the day, I'm not a big Marks and Spencer's shopper, to be honest with you, and that's just my opinion on it. That's the feeling I get when I go into Marks and Spencer's, and I'm obviously going to get slated for this, and I don't really give a shit, to be honest, but I'm just giving you my opinion, because you all know, guys, on this podcast, I really don't care. But again, that's just my opinion on it. But no, honestly, Marks and Spencer's brought out something here today, and I am actually laughing at this. It's actually making me fucking piss myself laughing. Marks and Spencer's have scrapped its use-by dates, or its things you find on labels of products when it goes out of date and whatnot. The use-by dates on its milk, and will instead advise customers to do a sniff test and determine why it's safe to consume. A sniff test? What the fuck? It sounds like Marks and Spencer's are sniffing stuff they shouldn't be fucking sniffing. The company has warned around 490 million pints or 270 million pounds of food is being thrown away in the UK each year, prompting the decision to reduce food waste. So it says here that works out roughly 18.5 pints per home, typically because the product's use-by date has passed. The move follows last year's removal of the best before dates from more than 300 fruits and vegetables by the retailer. So they're wanting you to go around sniffing your fucking milk now to say, like, what is going on? Use by dates and sell by dates were made for a reason. You know what I mean? Unless you're like buying certain foods that you freeze in your freezer or whatever else. But these people want you to go around now sniffing stuff. Like, what? It sounds to me like Marks and Spencer's are sniffing stuff themselves. And I don't want people to... Like, this world is going bonkers. Like, sniffing milk to save it. Oh, I give up. I really, really do. I just saw this morning and I thought to myself, okay, everybody has... We're obviously not happy with the waste of food and stuff like that, because obviously there's, like, places in the world that need food, like third world countries and whatnot, but don't even get me started on that, because I've worked for charities and whatnot and I deal with these type of countries and whatnot. But at the end of the day, guys... asking people to go around sniffing their fucking milk, like, okay, don't get me wrong, I've obviously sniffed milk over the years myself, to think obviously if it smells off or whatever, but they're not even going to put, that's the reason why they're not putting use by dates or sell by dates, because they want you to sniff your milk. Oh my god, I'm done. I'm fucking done. Like, seriously, some of these people are just insane, and this is another reason why I don't shop at Marks and Spencer's. Well, anyway, moving on, let's talk about briefly our old little friend, Mr. Harry, who's still in court this week, blabbering on about this whole phone hacking scandal nonsense, and he's rambling on now. And now he's blaming the press for his past relationship breakups. Yeah, I know. You're probably thinking to yourself, how the hell... Guys, I've talked about this for weeks and months, about them two morons, Harry and Meghan, the way they're getting on, the way they're looking everything way possible to try and get themselves into the public eye and the press. And for people who say they didn't want, hassle and harassment, and they didn't want, grief from the press and grief from the public, but they're constantly out there consistently wanting attention, and they said that they want a private life and they want to be left alone. But they're out there doing podcasts, which were crap, by the way. Out there doing reality shows, which I watched the first 10 minutes of and wanted to scratch my eyeballs out. And they're doing books and doing all this different thing to draw attention to themselves. They're just so hypocritical. But anyway, as you all know, Harry's in court this week. I don't want to talk about this much more, to be quite honest with you, unless something major developments out of it, because I'm sure you're probably sick and tired of hearing about Harry and Meghan than what I am. But he's in court this week now, and he's blabbering on. And this is the one that made me laugh. I saw this actually yesterday, and I was reading it yesterday as well. He turned around and says that apparently they were trying to phone hack his father's phone. And this is a true story, by the way, in case you're probably thinking, nah, this is bullshit in this generation, everybody has phones. King Charles now doesn't have a mobile phone. And he didn't have a phone back then whenever they were saying... he was claiming that his dad's phone was hacked and all this jazz, whatever. The guy is desperate, and he's just being a fucking nuisance. And honest to God, I've said this before, if he wasn't with Meghan, he wouldn't be in the situation that he's in now. He needs to kick her to the curb. Now, I've heard the last week or so all over the news and papers and online, whatever, that apparently their relationship is on the rocks and blah, 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 blah. Listen, I've said this before. See, when someone more richer comes along and offers Meghan a better life, her bags will be packed with her golden shovel and she'll be gone way gold digging like they always do. In my opinion, he's better off without her. That's my opinion on it all. And this court thing as well, now he's blaming the press for his past relationships breaking up and stuff. We all know what Harry's been up to over the last fucking, I don't know how many years. When he was younger, he was caught in nightclubs and he was caught doing drugs. Hell, he's on the verge of being deported from the States because he lied on his fucking visa application about his past drug use and whatever else. You know, he's took mushrooms, he's took cocaine, he smoked marijuana, he's took ecstasy tablets apparently as well. He's drunk loads of alcohol, and you know, he lied about it on his visa application, and he's on the verge of being deported from the United States. So this story just continues on and 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 on. And he's still in court this week, and people who listen to this podcast regularly ask me, you know, did you see what happened today? What do you think about what happened today and stuff like that? I narrow it down to T, guys. He needs to get rid of Meghan, and Meghan's a fucking drama queen. I've always said that from the start. Like, even keeping his kids away from his own dad's coronation is a no-no in my book. If I was him and I was married to her and she says, oh, the children can't come to your father's coronation, I'd be like, is that right, woman? Bye-bye, I'm taking my kids on your bike. That's my dad getting coronated as king. The kids are coming. It's his grandkids. They're coming. Let's rock and roll. But that's me. But again, you know, she's just a drama queen. I've always said that. I always say that. And mark down the date night today, guys. When I'm saying this here, their marriage will be over sooner than you think. And that's my opinion. So, and I also said before, if Diana was still around here today, may God rest her soul, she would have smacked the piss out of her a long time ago and told her to get the hell away from her son. So, that's my opinion on it all. But I don't know. Right, guys, I got one here I want to talk about that's actually making me very, very cross as a parent today. Now, I know we talked about on this podcast before about, you know, about teenagers and about behaviour issues. Like I talked about it on Tuesday about those young lads in a train station recently. They were kicking the shit out of them guys. By the way, there was 9 arrests from that the other day I was talking about. Them 9 guys, or them young ones that jumped on that innocent guy and actually beat the crap out of him at a train station, which was disgusting. I saw more videos as well appear online since Tuesday, and I'm just fucking disgusted, but I'm so glad my kids are not like that. But if you want to listen to when I talk about that, go back and listen to Tuesday's episode. You'll be able to hear it. This story is actually, I don't even know where to go with this. The story was entitled this morning, School Slam for Profoundly Troubling Pride Day Events Encouraging Full-Blown Drag Outfit. Now, listen to this. A secondary school in England has been criticised for its decision to organise a Pride Day event where it's asked children as young as 11 to dress up as drag queens. Fucking really? Now, I've said this before, and I'm going to say it again. I don't have an issue with people being gay, lesbian, bi, straight. You want to be, I've always encouraged people in this podcast, you be you, I be me, everybody be their own person. But the fact now, I've said this like a couple of months ago where they were trying to bring drag stuff into primary schools, and I said this before, I would be pissed at that, and I'd be straight to the fucking school like a baiting bear saying, excuse me, now in this secondary school they're getting kids as young as 11 to dress up in drag. That's confusing a fucking child. Like, is the parents not, I mean, I assume the parents are there doing something about this. The story goes on saying here, following heavy pressure from parents, the school was forced, there you go. The event was cancelled eventually. We see here, says here, letter to the parents saying the 16th of June event was parents, here, happy days. Sorry guys, I only read the brief this story before we went on the podcast today, so apologise about that. Despite the cancellation, I just rolled at the bottom of the story here, it says, despite the cancellation, the school remains under scrutiny, and the school is obviously being, in so many words, being scrutinised for what obviously they were trying to do. It says here, speaking with fed up of these cases here, like gay rights, black rights, all this here being shoved in the throats of young ones, especially in the mainstream media. We've decided to do what we had to do. We had to cancel this due to the backlash from the parents. And do you know something? Bravo to those fucking parents for doing that, because you know something? If that was me, I'd be the first one in the line. up at the front saying, excuse me, my child's 11 years of age and you're trying to force my child to dress in drag. Now, I'll tell you a story, guys. There's been obviously school plays and whatnot, and like, give you an example. If you're in a school play and you gotta dress up as a character or whatever, give you an example. My daughter, I get told this before, it's even in my vlogs over the years as well. My daughter was selected in primary 7, her last year in P7, as a main character in a school play. She was selected to play the character Aladdin. Okay? Now, Brooke, obviously, is a girl, Aladdin is a boy, that's fine. Understandable. I've even done stuff years ago in the Boys Brigade where we all dressed up as what was it, Florence Nightingale, whatever it was a thing, but it was all for a bit of a joke. But the way the world is then compared to the way the world is now, forcing this crap, I see this regularly, guys, where people are trying to force this LGBTQ plus whatever the fuck numbers on the end of it, this, BLM, all this crap shoving down their throats constantly every single day. This snowflake bullshit. Listen, confusing children at that age is, in my book, bullshit. Stop trying to confuse children. Children will make their own decision what they want to be when they're older or even when they're younger. It depends. Look, listen, at the end of the day, all children go through different phases of life. Hell, my brother's daughter at the minute's going through a rocker stage, like a all black, get her hair cut short, rocker type girl thing. I wouldn't even say emo phase, but I mean, they all go through phases like that. Brooke went through different phases. My son's gone through different phases. I went through phases as well when I was a kid. But I didn't have people like shoving shit down my throat and saying, you must be like this, you must accept this, you must accept that. That fucking pisses me off. That riles me up. That grinds my gears. Like, my kids come into me about, 3 months ago and said, oh, Daddy, at the minute in school, they're trying to teach us about to do this and do that. Something that, like, it's like forcing the kids to accept things they don't have to accept. Look, listen, people ask me all the time, how many genders are there? My opinion, 2. Male, female. See this fucking going around registering themselves as a fucking tree, and I seen people online saying I'm non-binary, I'm a tree. One guy online I saw saying I'm declared as Jesus, I'm this, I'm that. Look, listen, be yourself, be whoever you want, but don't try and force me and my family to accept it. You be yourself, you go and do whatever you want to do. You want to be man, woman, whatever you want to be, that's fine. But trying to force stuff on the children as young as the age of 11, in my opinion, is fucking bullshit. And good on those parents for standing up to that school and telling them, hey, hell no, I don't think so. You're not forcing my kids to do something that they don't want to do. And at the end of the day, if a child is 11 or 12 years of age and they say, give me an example, if they're feeling like they are gay or they are lesbian or whatever, at the end of the day, if a child comes to a parent and says, Mom, Dad, I'm gay, I'd be like, okay, fair enough. My daughter went through a wee phase when she was like 14, 15. She was a bit confused, you know what I mean, about sexuality and about boys and girls and whatever else. Now she's in a happy relationship with her boyfriend. I let her try and discover herself. I didn't turn around and say to her, oh, you're gay? Oh, right. No, do this, do that. My daughter's a big supporter of gays because she's got gay friends. Hell, one of her best friends is gay. My ex-girlfriend Sandra's nephew is gay. And Tyler is one of the most nicest kids in the world. You saw him briefly in my vlog at Brooke's 16th birthday party. He's come out as gay. But he doesn't go around like saying to everybody, hello, I'm gay, look, put all the attention on me. Tyler gets on with his life. He gets on like normal. He just acts as normal as anything can be. Okay, he's a bit sort of, flamboyant sometimes, and he's a bit of a character, and he's a good kid, and I've never a bad word to say about him. But at the end of the day, he doesn't go around like some of these clowns and going, oh, stop everything right now. I'm gay, I've walked into the room, stop everything for me. No, he gets up and he accepts. Everybody accepts for who he is. He knew from a young age that he was gay. He's come out to his parents. His parents have accepted it. He's been friends with Brooke for years, and he's a good kid. And at the end of the day, he was at Brooke's 16th birthday party. He was at her 15th birthday party, and Tyler has always been good to Brooke. And anytime I've ever spoke to him, even my dad loves Tyler. My dad thinks Tyler's hilarious. Thinks he's so funny. He's a great kid, and he loves his quick wit and his But at the end of the day, guys, that child wasn't forced to, and he wasn't being taught to go around and shove in people's faces. Like this whole thing during the lockdowns with the LGBTQ and the BLM and all this fucking crap. I thought, and I've always said this, during the lockdowns, people sat at home and made up all this, but half this bullshit you see out there now. And it all trickles downhill now to all this shit now where the whole politically correct bullshit, the PC bullshit, you can't say this, you can't say that, you can't go here, you can't go there, you can't speak about this person this way. See, at the end of the day, guys, I read this story this morning about that school and my piss boiled with anger. And I do apologise for obviously not reading down the bottom half of the story where the parents got it cancelled. So fair play to kudos to those parents for getting that stopped. Because I know I'd be doing the same. You know what I mean? At the end of the day, a young child at 11 should be enjoying their life, not being forced all this sexual crap onto them by dressing up as women or being gay or, sex. At 11 years of age, guys, I was out fucking playing football and climbing trees, and I didn't have a care in the world when I was 11 years of age. You know what I mean? I was out there and I was having the time of my life with my friends. I was playing football, I was watching my wrestling at the weekends, and, I was going to school, and okay, I was going through a bad time with bullying and whatnot and all that there, but at the end of the day, when I was 11 years of age, I was starting to get feelings about girls and stuff like that, and I was starting to be more aware about girls and stuff like that. But I didn't have all these people coming up and saying about gays and about this and about that, and you have to dress up like this and no. Listen, and I know the world's a completely different place right now, and I can debate about this all day long. But at the end of the day, guys, to see this here now, they're forcing this on the kids in school as young as 11 years of age. Something, I'm fair play to them parents. I would be exactly the same. I'd be up at that school saying, excuse me, what the fuck are you doing? I even seen, was it a couple of months ago, a drag person sitting, and it was at either a nursery school or a primary school doing book readings. And I go, what the fuck is going on? That's going to confuse a child. This man came in today, mummy and daddy, and he was dressed up as a woman, and he was telling this and telling that. I'd be fucking pissed. And I have nothing against gay people, and I nothing against transgenders and all that there. Listen, go be you, go be yourself, but do not force it onto my children. Do not force it onto me. At the end of the day, my opinion's mine. You have your life. If you come to me tomorrow and say to me, walk up the street and go, I'm gay, I dress as a girl, or I'm a girl and I dress as a guy, I'd be like, here, listen, fair play to you. See, at the end of the day, it makes you happy. It makes your life complete. You go and live your life. Kudos to you. I applaud you. Go and live your life. But do not come up into my face and go, no, I'll be telling you where to go. So, but anyway, no, I was just saying, guys, I wanted to bring that up today because that just, I just don't know. I really, really don't know. But anyway, moving on to another subject at hand, excuse me. Sorry. West Ham United. I know it's a football subject, so if you want to flick forward in the podcast here, you can do that. West Ham United last night won the Conference League, and I promised my friend Adam I'd be bringing it up on the podcast today because he's a big West Ham supporter. He did send me an audio recording last night. He wanted me to play on the podcast today, but it sounded like he was in the toilet at a pub, and he was talking to random people, and he was saying like, I'm sending mate message here from mate's podcast. Mate, if you're listening, I know you probably are. Look, listen. You'd send me something else for Tuesday's podcast. Send me an hour recording and I'll probably put it out when you're sober. Adam is celebrating along with a lot of other West Ham supporters I know last night their first trophy in over, it was 58 years or something. Something like that. Like, fair play to them. West Ham, okay, people are saying, it's just the UEFA Conference League. Look, listen, it's a fucking European trophy. They won a trophy last night. West Ham supporters are probably still in Prague partying right now. Either that or they're probably lying in their beds completely busted after last night. Listen, fair play to them. They won a European trophy, and they can take that with pride now. And fair play to West Ham. Fair play to them. They played a good game last night. They won the game in the last minute, which was excellent. I watched the game with Lewis last night, and we couldn't believe what we were watching. It wasn't a great game, to be honest with you, compared to most games, but it was entertaining. and West Ham won the trophy last night. So fair play to them. They are deserved champions. They beat Fiorentina in the final. You know, they've had a great run this season, undefeated the whole way through the tournament, so fair play to them. They've actually won more games in that tournament than what they did in the Premier League, so fair play to West Ham. And I've had a few West Ham supporters on at me today, sending messages in for the podcast and whatnot. So listen, guys, at the end of the day, fair play to you. You deserve it. You played really good football last night, and it was great to see, especially the supporters. Now, there was a wee incident before the game. We heard West Ham supporters were attacked in the city by certain people, which was all cleared up. Then we saw during the first half, some West Ham fans were throwing stuff onto the pitch, which actually hit one of the players in the back of the head from the opposite team. He ended up with a bit of a cut in the back of his head, which I don't condone that. But at the end of the day, it was a great victory for West Ham, and they thoroughly deserved it. So fair play to them. And Adam, my friend from the ASAP podcast, I'm sure you are dying today with a hangover. In fact, I'm going to text him this morning after I record this podcast to see how he is. He's probably hanging out of his ass today. So fair play to him. God love him. He's a big West Ham supporter, and he loves his club so much. He even posted stuff on his personal Facebook yesterday of his wee daughter wearing West Ham shirts and all. He actually said in that recording last night, he sent me saying, "This is the best day of my life, apart from the day my kid was born." Or kids, he said, first of all, kids, and then he corrected himself by saying kid, because he only has one daughter, which is understandable. The best day of your life is the day your kids are born. But yeah, look, listen, all West Ham supporters out there who watch my vlogs and listen to my podcast, fair play to you. You deserve it. So hats off to you. You're in the Europa League next year with us, Liverpool. It's all right. So I look forward to seeing you play next year in more European football, and fair play to you. So you deserve it. But there you go. Right, let's go on here and see what else I've got for you today before I go into some of the questions and also the jackass of the week as well. We will see, got a couple of wee stories knocking about here today. I actually wrote a few stories down. Some of you have been asking me as well, a lot of you asked me political questions about different politics and whatnot. And to be quite honest with you guys, I mean, I only sort of keep a sort of brief look at politics now and again. I don't really sort of follow politics massively, but a lot of you do sort of contact me and say about different things, whatever else here. Here's one here. So I actually wrote this down here in the back of my note that I have here as well. Wales apparently are trying to set up a story was entitled yesterday saying Wales 20 miles per hour speed limit plan slammed. It says 20 mile an hour speed limit in the Welsh residential areas are part of an anti-motorist campaign. They're trying to cut down and make motorists drive 20 miles an hour, say for example through a housing estate or a private area or whatever out there. You know, I'm sort of on the fence about this, because at the end of the day you do see a lot of built up areas and whatnot, people driving really fast, especially for example where I live, there's a lot of kids in the street, and I would sort of be all for that. But again, where I live in my street, there's very, very high speed bumps, which are a fucking nightmare, because some of them speed bumps you see on the roads now are just damaging people's cars left, right and centre. But apparently in Wales, guys, they're trying to cap this at 20 miles per hour in this new campaign they have about trying to get, sort of, for example, built-in areas, residential areas. It's like an anti-motorist campaign thing. At the minute, I don't know the full ins and outs of it, but I do remember making a few notes about it, about the podcast. I was watching the wee thing about it the other day. They are obviously trying to hack down. Any drivers out there, let me know what you think about that, especially parents, for example, who live in a built-in area with children. I would agree with it in the likes of, say, for example, the street that I live in. I think it should be a limited speed, because there's obviously kids running out of gardens and kids in the street playing football and kids in the street running around and whatever else. And you don't want to see cars fucking flying up and down really fast and some poor child getting run over or somebody getting run over by a car, which obviously is terrible to see. But when it comes to the things in Wales there, I mean, I would kind of agree with it in certain areas, but not all areas. No, definitely not. But again, like cul-de-sac areas and things like that, I would agree with it, because there's people who do drive around like fucking lunatics. I think they get their driver's license in the back of a cornflake box, but that's just another story for another day. But yeah, let me know what you think about that, guys, because it's an interesting subject. I'm going to keep an eye on that actually, because at the end of the day, I do agree with certain areas that the speed limit should be reduced, especially like outside schools as well. Because you do see, like, there's a school nearby where I live, and you see guys flying up and down the road like complete lunatics, and there's kids trying to cross the road. And with very little lollipop men on the road as well, which is a bit of a frustrating thing. They took a lot of lollipop men away and changed it with traffic lights and stuff. Like, for example, outside my old kids' primary school, there used to be a lollipop man there for years, and he was a lovely man, and then they replaced him with traffic lights. But people are still flying up and down them roads like fucking lunatics. So do you think, guys, that like what we're doing in Wales right now, trying to get this set into place where certain areas should have their speed limit reduced down even further to try and avoid accidents and injuries and people being hit by motors and whatever else? So let us know what you think about that, guys. I would obviously like to hear from you. Right, before I get into Jackass of the Week, I'm going to answer some of your wonderful, wonderful questions, as I always like to hear from you every week here on the Moore Army podcast. Right, I'll start off today with Instagram. So I'm sitting here this morning with my laptop in front of me here. Let's have a look here and see. Right, I've got one here from Philly, who actually sent it to me on Monday. So yeah, for what I can see here, he has sent me quite a few messages over the years, so I do apologise, Philly, for only getting back to you now. His recent message has said, I followed you from your first vlog. Okay, thank you. Watched your kids grow, seen you in 2 relationships, watched you go through the haters and more throughout the years head on. But what does the future hold for Matthew? Well, thank you very much for that, Philly. I appreciate it. You've been there since the first vlog. Fuck me, the first vlog was cringy. What's next for me? Well, my at the minute in my own mindset right now, what's next for me is to obviously get the kids through school, get them their education, send them out into the world, obviously with a good education behind them. I'm obviously a big advocate for pushing the kids to try and do their best. Like, for example, Brooke done a maths exam yesterday at school, and for weeks on end, I've been on at her about it and stuff like that. Even the time she was going through her GCSEs last year, I was on at her about it and keep pushing her and pushing her and pushing her and pushing her. And sometimes she's like, Daddy, you're being a bit too pushy sometimes. Well, I'm just like, look, darling, I'm just trying to get you through your school and get your education and make you do better than what your dad did. So that would be a main thing for me right now, is to get the kids through school, get them their education, get them a good job, send them out into the big bad world, help them get set up in their first home when they finally move out, which will obviously be a day that'll break my fucking heart for that. But for me personally, my goal is just to be happy. You said there about, you've seen me going through a lot with the trolls and the haters and all that there. Look, listen, no matter what you do in the public eye, you always get somebody who doesn't fucking like you. You know what I mean? And I've the last couple of weeks not to try and talk about as much about them anymore, because I still get the snowflakes coming in, especially some oil protester fucking supporters as well recently. I just ignore it and switch off now. We have been through a lot of hate over the years. Not so much now as much as what we used to get, but we used to get quite a lot of hate. We've had our home attacked multiple times. We've had Brooke and Lewis targeted, me targeted, lies posted online, people just trying to be a complete arseholes. But we've got through it all. We're still here. Relationships, yes. You've seen my vlogs the last 7 years. I've been through relationships, which kind of sucked. It didn't work out. It was a fucking nightmare, which I thought the last relationship was going to work out, but unfortunately it didn't. And, it didn't end the way I wanted it to end. But again, I didn't make that decision. But that's that was a hard pill to swallow. Very hard pill to swallow, actually, more than people actually know. But yeah, me personally, what's my goal for me? It's just to be happy. Just to be happy, keep making videos, keep meeting new people, just keep doing what I do. Be happy. I mean, I as you know, probably know if you're a long time viewer of my YouTube channel, I'm a very simple guy. I go to watch Liverpool play. I watch football at the weekends here in Northern Ireland. I do football with Lewis the weekends. I watch TV. I go out for walks. I love to travel. I love finding new places to go. I have a few beers one day a week. I'm just me. I don't ask for much. I don't I'm a very simple person. I don't really bother with many people. I keep my circle small, my little bubble of people in my life. I don't bother with many people anymore. I just sort of keep myself to myself. I'm a very simple person. But again, could I be doing more with my life, Philly? Yes. Could I be doing a lot more with new people? Absolutely. But this last year or so has been a pretty shit one for me. Personally, obviously being busy with work and busy with everything else, and could I be doing a lot more? You damn right. And will I be doing a lot more? You damn right I will be. So, but yeah, well, thank you very much for following me over since day one. Jeez whiz, that's a long time, 2016. Thank you very much, but I really do appreciate your support. It really does mean a lot to me. Let's get into our Instagram one here. Let's have a wee look here and see. Right. Have a wee one more look here and see. Right. I've one here from Charles or Charlie. Charlie, yes, Charlie. But it says Charles in brackets. Let's have a look at his profile here and see where he's from. Charles is from... doesn't say. Charles just wants to know, hi Matthew, just noticed recently you haven't been doing as many live reaction videos with Lewis for the Liverpool games. I know the season's over now, but just wanted to know what's the situation with the live reaction videos. Are you going to keep continuing doing them next season, along with matchday vlogs from Anfield when you go and watch Liverpool play? Me and my dad are big followers of your channel and want to know what's the crack with Red Men Football Adventures as well. Keep up the good work. Love the podcast every week. Charlie. Okay, well, yes, I've addressed that before. Red Men Football Adventures will be coming back for the new season. I'm also going to be trying to do some more of those documentary stuff as well because of my job in the Irish League where I'm traveling around different grounds and stuff like that. I'm going to try and do more of those videos because they were quite popular. The ones done about like Dundela and Dergview and stuff like that there, then the little short films that I was making, they were quite popular. So with my job in the Irish League now as well, I would love to try and get more of those videos done out there. Also, yes, the live reaction videos the last couple of weeks, we haven't really been doing much of them towards the end of the season because we've been obviously only getting to see bits and pieces of the games and stuff. So, but next season they will be back in full force, and yes, there will be more match day vlogs from Anfield next season. So stay tuned for those. But I do appreciate your message, and thank you for listening to the podcast. I do appreciate it. Right, let's get into another one here from. Let's have a look here and see. Right, one here from Mark. Mark on Instagram has said to me, "Hey Matthew, how you doing? Just recently ordered one of your Moore Army podcast t-shirts. It arrived within 2 days in the UK and must say the quality is great. Fits well, nice and sleek, love the logo, basic and plain. Can I just ask you as well when the new stuff is released?" The new stuff is actually being released this weekend. I actually haven't addressed that anymore. It's actually done. It's actually officially done, and I haven't got around to posting it yet. I don't keep saying for weeks I'm going to get it done, but the new stuff's coming. But thank you for ordering the t-shirt. I appreciate it. He actually attached a photograph of it. He ordered the white one, the white Moore Army podcast t-shirt with the Moore Army logo on it, or Moore Army podcast logo on it. He loves the t-shirt. Brilliant. Thank you very much for that. I appreciate your message. Let's do one more Instagram before I head into the emails here. Right, one more here from Craig. Craig on Instagram has wrote me saying, "Hey Matthew, just wanted to ask you how your dad was doing since his recent health scare. Hope that everything is keeping well with yourself and looking forward to seeing your summer vlogs as I do every single year because I know you have so much fun on your holidays. Send your dad my best regards and hope he is doing well, Craig." Well, Dad is doing well. I'll actually be seeing Dad here shortly this morning. Him and Mum are coming around soon to see me this morning here. That's why I want to get this podcast recorded early this morning. They're coming around this morning for a wee bit of coffee and whatnot. So, but yeah, Dad's doing good. I was round at his house yesterday. He was round yesterday with Mum washing the car, and Dad's doing well. He's going to his hospital appointments every week or two to do these exercise things to do with you after you've had a heart attack and stuff like that. And he's doing really, really well. And he's dropped a bit of weight, and he's doing well. And I've been saying to him all the time regularly, like, "Dad, I get messages about you all the time." And I've briefly mentioned to him before about coming onto the podcast for a wee chat. And I said to him about it, and I'm going to actually say to him maybe today again about coming onto the podcast for a wee chat sometime. Just have a wee chat about Dad and how he's doing, and just chat about life in general. Talk about him growing up and his experiences in life, and my dad's done quite a bit throughout his time. He worked in the city council for 26 years or something like that. My dad's done a lot of stuff over the years, and then obviously his recent health scare, and just want to have a wee chat with him on the podcast here. But I'm just trying to I'm waiting for him to sort of like fully recover before even trying to attempt to bring him on, because I don't want to bring him on now, and especially when he's trying to recover and stuff. But no, he's doing great. So he is great. He's doing very, very well. He's just getting on with everything every day. He's just trying to keep himself busy, and he's out. What he's actually doing as well, a lot recently as well, he's been going down to the local beaches and stuff and going out for walks with mum to try and get himself healthy again. He's down at the beaches, and he's out meeting new people, and he's down at the beach, which I think is great. So fair play to him and things he's doing now. I think that health scare's really sort of shook him up a wee bit and made him realise that life's too short and he needs to do more with his life, because at the end of the day, guys, life's so fragile, and you need to, try and sort of like live every moment you can, because at the end of the day, you could be gone in a heartbeat. So, but anyway, thanks for your message. I'll send the message on to him this morning when I see him. I'll show him your message this morning whenever he gets here this morning for his wee coffee with him and mum. So, right, let's get into some of the emails here. Moore Army Podcast at yahoo.com. Let's get in here and have a look here and see. Excuse me, one here this morning from Alan. Hi, Matthew. Alan and Jenny here. Oh, must be his wife or his partner. Hi, Jenny. Hi, Alan. Just wanted to give you a wee shout out on the podcast, especially if you could give us a possible shout out on this week's episode of the Moore Army Podcast. We absolutely love your podcast, the way it's just straight from the hip, no BS, no filter, no restrictions compared to your YouTube channel. Just wanted to say hello to you, and anytime you're in Northamptonshire, you're more than welcome to meet us for a beer or a coffee. Keep up the good work. Thank you very much, guys. I appreciate it. Northamptonshire. I've never been to Northamptonshire. My friend, I know, was it my friend Chris? Years and years and years and years ago, I think he went to Northampton University. Was it Northampton University he went to? I can't even remember. Just that name popped up in my head there. Yeah, thanks very much for that. I appreciate it. It must be your partner, your wife. Thanks to the both of you guys for the email. Thank you very much for listening to the podcast every week. I don't know why you listen to me every week, because I do ramble on quite a bit. But yeah, it's great to hear from you. And yeah, Northamptonshire, it's maybe an RB place on the wee bucket list. I might take off and go and visit sometime. Thank you very much for that. I do appreciate that. Right, let's get another one here. One here on the email from Winston. Winston is from London. Hello, Winston. How you doing? Thank you very much for your email. Hi, Matthew. How you doing? Just wanted to send you a quick question, football related. I know you're probably fed up hearing about football questions. I am a very big Tottenham Hotspur supporter, a very frustrated and annoyed Tottenham Hotspur supporter. I'm annoyed at the board, I'm annoyed at the players, the staff, and also the appointment of this new manager. Can I ask you, as a Liverpool fan, what is your view on Tottenham Hotspur as a club and their current situation? Thank you for taking the time to read my email, Winston from London. Okay, Winston, thank you for your email. Honestly, my opinion on Tottenham Hotspur they should be in a bigger position than what they are in right now. Tottenham Hotspur are a massive, massive club. I would be really pissed off with the board at the minute. Like, I am pissed off with the Liverpool board myself as well, but that's just my opinion on the Liverpool board. But yeah, as a Tottenham Hotspur supporter, I would be pissed off. They haven't won a trophy for years. They're one of the best strikers in Premier League history. I'm sure he's frustrated. I've heard he's possibly on the move this year as well. Tottenham Hotspur are a massive club and should be in a bigger position than what they are in right now. Hell, they got to the Champions League final in 2019 against us. I have a few friends who are massive Tottenham Hotspur supporters. And again, I'm sure they're frustrated as Tottenham Hotspur supporters too as well. Should they be I think they should be in a bigger position than what they are right now, and I hope for the club's sake. I mean, they've moved in that brand new stadium and all recently too as well. That new stadium of theirs is absolutely incredible. But again, I hope that Tottenham Hotspur can have a better season this year than what they have done, because I have a few personal friends of mine who are Tottenham fans and they're ready to rip their fucking hair out, to be honest with you. But here's hoping for a better season for you, Winston, and hopefully you can get some good signings in and compete at a higher level, obviously, for next season and moving forward. So thank you very much for your email, Winston. I do appreciate it. And maybe one day I'll hopefully get to visit the Tottenham Hotspur Stadium. Fingers crossed. See? Right, let's get into our email here on moorarmypodcast@yahoo.com. Right, I've one here from Joel. Joel says, "Hi Matthew, how you doing? Long time viewer of your YouTube channel and love listening to your podcast as well. Just wanted to ask you, how come there is not as many videos out every week as what there used to be as of late? Is it due to you being busy with work, or what is the situation? I always enjoy watching your videos every day when you were daily vlogging, so will you ever go back to being daily vlogs every single day?" Well, to be honest with you, if it was up to me, I would love to do daily vlogs every day, but unfortunately sometimes now with my work and stuff, I do get quite busy. I've been really busy over the last year or so, and that's why the vlogs have dropped way back a bit, and it does annoy me, it does frustrate me, it does piss me off, where I'm sitting there going, Jesus Christ, I could be away today doing another vlog somewhere, or I could be out doing a vlog tonight, or guys, for years and years I used to have 2, 3 vlogs, 5, 6 vlogs, 7 vlogs a week out, sometimes more depending. But recently it's just been so hard with work and balancing things and family life and everything else. But again, will I ever go back to daily vlogging? Yeah, I hope so, because I want to go back to daily vlogging because I enjoy doing daily vlogs. It really does. It sort of like helps me connect with my audience and helps me still connect with my viewers. So to answer your question, yes, I hope to go back to daily vlogs ASAP. Now, when I'm away on my summer holiday this year, I'll be doing a shitload of vlogs. I mean, you'll probably get like sometimes 2 a day. But the summer holidays is always great for me because I always do loads of vlogs throughout the summer. So stay tuned for more coming up. I'm hoping to get one filmed today as well after I get this podcast done. Before I head off for a couple of beers tonight. So fingers crossed. But anyway, thanks for your email. Appreciate it. And thank you for being a long time follower of the channel. It really does mean a lot to me. Thank you so much for all your support. And it really does mean a lot to me. Right, let's go into our email here. One more before I head on to the old jackass of the week for this week. Right, one more here. I've got one here from Johnny. Johnny, it doesn't say where you're from. Nope, doesn't say where you're from. But hello, Johnny. How you doing? Johnny writes to me saying, "Hi, Matthew. How you doing? I listened to your podcast from a few weeks ago where you talked about losing another one of your close friends. The man who you were talking about helped you whenever you were 16 years of age. I too had an experience like that when I first started working in the big bad world at the age of 16, and unfortunately that gentleman who helped me and guided me through my early years of life unfortunately passed away in 2019. I just wanted to see how you're feeling right now about obviously your friend passing away, as I know you've been through a lot over the last few years, losing your best friend and our recent friend recently, and also relationship breakups and more. Just checking in to see how you're doing. Keep up the good work. Love the podcast every week. I love this when people say it, I guess. I love this. Never mind the haters. Screw them all. They're just jealous. Thank you very much for that. I appreciate it. Yeah, I'm doing okay. I'm doing fine. I'm trying to be positive every day. I'm trying to keep my mindset right. I'm trying to stay positive every day, because if I didn't, especially with having my kiddies around, then it would drive me fucking insane. Yeah, it was an unfortunate experience losing Cecil recently, because he's always one of them men that I'll always think of and have fond memories of and stuff. But yeah, I've been through quite a lot. I lost my best friend. He died very young too as well, my best friend growing up, and then obviously recent relationship breakups and other stuff going on and everything else. It's been tough. The last couple of years have been really, really tough, like losing my friend and my divorce coming through, and then a breakup from a relationship, and then everything was starting to get good again, and then another relationship breakup, and then losing another friend, and then losing other people who have known close to me as well. It's been quite tough. So it has. And at the end of the day, I've always said this, the people who keep me going every day is my family, my kids mostly. If I didn't have YouTube and an audience and people to talk to you all the time, I think I would probably end up in a madhouse somewhere. But no, listen, I appreciate your question. I'm doing okay. I'm surviving. I'm getting there every day, but it's a challenge sometimes, but I just try and stay positive. Because if you don't stay positive, you end up going mad. So thanks for your email. Appreciate it. Right, it's now time for my favourite segment of the week before I head down the road, guys, and end this podcast for another week. It's now time for the Moor Army Podcast Jackass of the Week segment. Ha! There he is. Oh, Boris. I love old Boris the donkey. Every week, guys, as always, you always contact me and give me your suggestions for Jackass of the Week, which I absolutely adore. But over the last sort of 4 or 5 days, a lot of yous have been sort of coming in, especially in the last, since Monday, maybe. Yeah, since Monday, I would say. A lot of you have been coming in for Jackass of the Week suggestions. A lot of this person's name is trickling through to me here, and you know, it was a landslide of many people were asking to be Jackass of the Week, and I was even considering this person for Jackass of the Week as well. But at the end of the day, you guys have spoken, so it's now time for the Jackass of the Week segment. And can I, before I announce it, I just want to say thank you for all your suggestions as always, because I do appreciate it. So the Moore Army Podcast Jackass of the Week for this week is, can I get a drum roll please? Thank you very much. As always, the Moore Army Podcast Jackass of the Week for this week is Holly Willoughby. There's a Boris Tanner's Jackass of the Week. And you probably all know the reason why she's Jackass of the Week, because of her fake speech and obviously her supposedly not knowing about what's going on and all and whatnot as well. So yeah, absolute jackass in my opinion, and I agree with a lot of you out there. Some of you were actually asking for Philip Schofield to hit the hat trick this week and do three weeks in a row, but no, definitely not. After that speech on Monday, it was a cringe fest, you know, especially to start going, "How are you?" Really? Anyway, that is going to bring us to the end once again of another week of the Moore Army Podcast. Guys, I am about to head down the road here now and spend a bit of time with mum and dad. I'm going to record a vlog today, definitely do something great. I'm going to record a vlog today. I'm even going to see if dad will maybe take me out shopping today and maybe do a bit of vlogging while I'm out shopping today. How's that sound? Do a bit of vlogging while I'm out and about today and try and get one put out today. So we shall see. Stay tuned to the YouTube channel, guys. Do hit subscribe to the channel as well, Moore Army YouTube channel, for all the videos coming up over the weekend. Anyway, guys, that's going to bring us to the end. So thank you once again for all your questions this week, all your suggestions for subjects and whatnot. I do appreciate it. Love listening to all your stories. Tell your friends, tell your family, share this podcast with everybody. So you know me, guys, no filters on this podcast. I don't take no shit. I call it as I see it, and you know, I just love sitting here 2 days a week recording these podcasts and talking to you guys, because you guys mean a lot to me. I really do appreciate it. So anyway, guys, I want to head down the road here now and have a beer tonight as well and enjoy the sunshine, guys. If it is sunny in your area the weekend, make sure you wear plenty of sun cream. Enjoy yourselves. If you're off work this weekend, chill out, make it as much fun as you can, whether it be your kids, your family, or yourself, whatever. Go out and enjoy the weekend, guys. Have good fun. And until Tuesday, I will see you back here for another podcast, for another week of ongoing news, gossip, questions, and more on the Moore Army Podcast. So until next Tuesday, guys, enjoy your weekend, and I will see you back here for another podcast next Tuesday. Thanks for listening, guys.